Title: The Secret New York. 1910 mornings were actually insane.
Everything you think you know about the New York City grind is a complete lie. You probably think Manhattan has always been this deafening, steel-cladded jungle of sirens and shouting. But if you stepped onto Broadway in 1910 at 6 a.m., you wouldn't even recognize the planet you were standing on. We are talking about a version of the Big Apple that was moments away from exploding into the future. But for a few hours every morning, it was the most surreal, quiet, and electric place on Earth.
Right now, you're probably thinking that a morning without subways and skyscrapers sounds boring. You couldn't be more wrong. This was a city on the absolute edge of a revolution. Before the massive shadows of the Empire State Building or the Chrysler Building ever touched the pavement, New York breathed differently. The first thing that hits you isn't the sound of engines, it's the rhythm of thousands of horse hooves. It's a metallic, rhythmic drumming against the cobblestones that sounds like a literal heartbeat. There are no yellow cabs, there are no buses. Instead, you have the legendary milk carts. These guys were the lifeblood of the city. While the world slept, an army of horse-drawn wagons fanned out across the 5 boroughs, glass bottles clinking in a symphony that signaled the start of the day. If you didn't have your milk on the stoop by sunrise, the city simply didn't move.
And look at the sky, it's wide open. In 1910, the canyons of New York didn't exist yet. The sun actually hit the street level. You could stand in the middle of Times Square and see the horizon. But the air was thick. Not with exhaust, but with the raw, white plumes of steam rising from every vent and the smell of burning coal from thousands of basement furnaces. It looked like the city was literally breathing, exhaling massive clouds into the crisp morning air.
Then come the newsies. This wasn't a movie, this was survival. You'd hear the high-pitched, frantic shouting of kids on every corner, screaming the headlines of the New York World or the Herald. They were the internet of 1910. If they didn't scream it, you didn't know it. The energy was frantic but human. People weren't looking down at glowing screens. They were looking at each other, nodding, tipping hats, and navigating a world that moved at 4 miles per hour. But here is the craziest part. You are witnessing the literal death of the old world and the birth of the new one. In one lane, you'd see a horse-drawn carriage, and in the next, a brand new Model T chugging along, terrifying everyone in sight. It was a clash of centuries happening in real time. This was the last moment New York was ever truly quiet, before it became the loudest city in human history. By the time the clock hit 9 a.m., the silence was shattered forever. The cranes were already moving, the steel was rising, and the New York we know today was about to swallow this peaceful world whole. You just witnessed the calm before the greatest urban storm in history. If you think today's New York is intense, just remember, it all started with a milk cart and a dream. Stay curious, because the past is weirder than you think.